The Mountain Between Us is directed by Hany Abu-Assad and it stars Idris Elba and Kate Winslet, and it tells the story of two strangers who, after being stranded due to a tragic plane crash, must now forge a connection to survive the extreme elements of a remote snow-covered mountain. When they realize help is not coming, they embark on a perilous journey across hundreds of miles of wilderness, pushing one another to endure and discovering strength they never knew possible. This film is based on a book by the same name, and it stars two fabulous actors who are good in this film. Idris Elba, Kate Winslet. The effort these two actors need to make anytime they take on a project is to be bad in that project. These guys are genuinely great talents. They cannot do a bad job unless they put effort into making a bad job. But unfortunately, the film itself is very bad. The characters are very bland. Halfway into the film, you find yourself knowing what you knew from the beginning. Idris Elba is a doctor, Kate Winslet is about to get married, and she's a photographer. That's it. Halfway through the second act, that's still all you know. And the film does try to make you see something else in the characters, like Kate Winslet always telling these bad jokes and bad puns, but there's nothing about the character that makes you think, oh yeah, she's the type of person that does say this stuff. And every once in a while the film tries to do that with Idris Elba for some reason, and it also does not work. There's also this big secret about Idris Elba that once it gets revealed, let's say, it's not exactly revealed, and they still have to explain it further, which they do after a couple of scenes where the tension is all but gone, but the tension never even existed. And the dialogue in this film is absolutely horrible. These two have chemistry when it comes to being two people who are good in their respective roles, but as far as romantic nature, the chemistry is below zero, much like the temperature must have been in that mountain. And speaking of the mountain, the set looks amazing. The scenery, the vistas in this film do look spectacular, and you feel the cold, but it feels like the film has no sense of direction, which we'll get to, and it feels like the film was much more inclined to star the director of photography. The film looks incredible, even though there are a couple of scenes where the color palette changes and it just makes you cringe. The film seems more interested in focusing on the vistas and the set and where these two characters are, what surrounds them, instead of the characters and the bond they start having or should start having in this film. The director doesn't seem to understand what it is to establish characters. He has establishing shots for us to know where the characters are, but there's no emphasis on what should be the most heavily emotional moments of the film. They just go by like that, and we have no moments to linger on them and to absorb what should be great emotionality. And I talked about the dialogue, but the writing in general is just very bad. You've seen that there's a dog in the trailer, and look, this dog conveniently disappears and shows up once it is comfortable for a dog to walk around and to move around independently. There are some points in this film where the dog is completely gone and you don't know where the dog is, and then when the movie conveniently needs to acknowledge that the dog is gone, and when they need to go after the dog, they do, but that happens once or twice. There are moments where these characters are going down this mountain and the dog is nowhere to be seen, he completely disappears, and then, oh, there it is again, like nothing happened. There are also many sections in this film where characters find themselves on one spot, then it cuts, and they find themselves on another completely different spot. And you feel like they went from point A to point C where a point B is missing. And it's not even a matter of, oh, okay, they cut the point B section out. No, it's like it was never even filmed. It's like the writers conveniently did not write it into the script and completely avoided any explanation towards that. And I will not spoil anything, but oh my god, the ending of this movie, not only is it dragging, but it makes no sense. The characters make no sense, their decision making makes no sense, and it annoys you seeing these two fabulous talents who have just recently had great performances in Wonder Wheel and Molly's Game being stranded in this mountain and in this film. It's a very boring, bland film where the director of photography shines, and that's about it. He is the only person that shines. Kate Winslet and Idris Elba are good, but you care for them because they are Idris Elba and Kate Winslet. Winslet. The Mountain Between Us pretends to be a survival film, but it's really a bad cliched romance, and when you think the film has been cliche enough, it goes ahead and surprises you by not surprises you, and by the end it made me feel like Clark Gable. What did you think of The Mountain Between Us, my beautiful geekies? Have you read the book? Is the book good? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching once more. Next week I'm going to London and bring you many reviews. Can't wait to see you there. And tomorrow my review for Return of the Jedi is here. And next week The Force Awakens. So until then, you stay beautiful, you stay geeky, and if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button and the bell so we can be geeky united!